Yes. Alrighty. What's up, everybody? It is I, your tribal god of extreme, Peter Joseph here, for a Thursday evening, getting close to Thursday night video. It's not dark yet here in the Northeast, but we'll call it a late Thursday evening, getting close to Thursday night video, right here on Metal God 669. And as always, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video and subscribe right now. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, July the 9th, 2026. Hope you're having a great Thursday and have a great first official weekend of July. We don't count 4th of July weekend because that was half a weekend. It was half of July. But first official week of July is about to end. We got the weekend coming up. Hope you have a great weekend. Be safe and be well in whatever you do. That's that. But move on. But on your Thursday evening, Thursday night, wherever you may be, got some sad news. As always, if you have been following my channel, you know what this channel is about. Mainly, it is a tribute channel to the faithful departed in the world of music, movies, sports, wrestling included, and politics and stuff like that. Also, I do music-related videos. I do some concert footage and some other music-related topics here and there, which I'll get back to in the future. I'm a busy guy, so it is what it is. But, so if you like that, hit that subscribe button, and that's that. So I'm going to get a little serious today. I found out this news this morning, and kind of broke my heart, because this woman pretty much defined, take it back. This woman was one of the women that really defined the 80s. We talk about Madonna, and we talk about so many women in the 80s, Tina Turner and Cyndi Lauper, but this woman, who only had a couple big hits in the late 70s and 80s, probably the most prominent single that she had, well, two of the prominent singles she had, Holding Out for a Hero and Total Eclipse of the Heart. You know her, you love her, you can't get enough of her, but sadly, Bonnie Tyler has passed away today at the age of 75. A Welsh singer known for her raspy voice, big in the 70s and 80s with It's a Heartache and also Holding Out for a Hero, like I said before. So she sadly passed away at 75. A message posted on Tyler's official website, and I'm taking this from People Magazine, by the way, and because I don't take anything from Wikipedia. Can't prove it, but I digress. But anyway, a message posted on Tyler's official website today from her family and team stated they were heartbroken to announce that Bonnie unexpectedly passed away last night in the hospital in Portugal as a result of an illness that she was being treated for. They don't tell us which one. It could be anything. She was placed in an induced coma back in May, but a spokesperson said last month that she was out of the coma and remained very unwell. So this was a really bad illness that, since 2 months ago, and she just couldn't recover from it. So we don't know what illness it could be. It could be a respiratory thing. It could be a nervous thing. It could be a whole ton of things. But I guess we'll find out later on. But sad to hear that she passed away. And the statement added, they added that a further statement will come in due course while asking for privacy to deal with the tragedy, obviously, because family likes to keep privacy. So we don't know the full extent of the illness, what tragically killed Bonnie Tyler. It could be cancer, it could be a whole list of things, but that's that. She was, like I said, she was in intensive care back in May, and put in a medically induced coma. What was it? Emergency intestinal surgery. Oh, that could be it. She had, gut surgery, basically. So, I wouldn't say what killed Ronnie James Dio, because he had a lot of stomach problems. So, it could be something similar to that, though we don't really fully know. So, that's what I'm just saying. That's that. Anyway, she was born Gaynor Hopkins in Skewen, Wales in 1951. She later picked Bonnie Tyler as her stage name. One of 7 children. Her father had become disabled fighting in World War II. She said in the Guardian, a magazine in 2012, "My mom was a wonderful mother. I remember she said to me, 'Believe in yourself because no one else is going to do it for you.'" Great words, by the way. "I'm sure a lot of my success is due to her words of advice." So, big ups to her mom for that great quote. Anyway, at 17, she answered a newspaper ad looking for backup singers at a local club. And in 2013, she told The Guardian, "In those days, it was easier for people to come in the music business. There was a lot more clubs and dance halls, not so much today. It wasn't so much DJs around then, it was live bands. She was singing in clubs for 7 years. Basically doing everybody else's hits, kind of like a cover singer. We had different nights. One night we do blues, one night we do pop or country, and on Sunday, people used to do ballroom dancing, kind of like at the Copacabana, but I digress on that. 1973, she married Robert Sullivan, the club's manager, credited their longevity as a couple to the fact that they got married before she became famous. She sang 6 times a week. That's a lot. She developed nodules on her vocal cords, and she had to have throat surgery in 1976. You was born, by the way. After 4 months of recovery, her voice got stronger and had that rasp, almost like Stevie Nicks-like. So, she had a great voice. Her first single was 1977's "It's a Heartache" from her second album, Natural Force, which she released on RCA Records. It reached number 3 in the United States, number 4 in the UK, topped the charts in Australia, mate, and Canada. She wasn't a fan of the song, saying, "I was a bit cheesed off," told People magazine in 1983, or the management team that held her on a contract. Oh, one of those things. I hate when that happens. Somebody controls you basically, and they're like, "Oh, you gotta be like this, you gotta be like that." That pretty much kills your career. And then you break away and you become a big star. We all know some people like that. Pink might be one of them. She says, "I didn't even like it as I was recording it. The song also put her in more of a country space instead of rock. During the last 18 months of her contract with her management, she stopped performing while waiting for the contract to run out." That's a good thing. Then it took a bit of a nosedive until 1983, so about 7 years later, she got a new manager, a new label, released Total Eclipse of the Heart, which was written by Jim Steinman. We all know him from Meatloaf, Air Supply, and Celine Dion. The guy's amazing. Mostly with Meatloaf. You've seen him on Bad Out of Hell 1, 2, 3. Oh, Meatloaf's albums is insane because he does a lot of the piano work. But we had that. I'm not going to go through all this, but she said in 2021, I always thought actually Steinman, who died in 2021, said of Bonnie, "I'd always thought she had a great voice. She reminds me of Creedence Clearwater Revival's John Fogerty," of all people, John Fogerty from Creedence Clearwater Refrigeration, but I digress. "Probably my favorite male rock and roll singer. Her voice isn't pure or smooth, it sounds ravaged, like it's been through a lot. It's what rock and roll's all about. And rock and roll dreams come true." But I digress. When she met Steinman in 1982, he played some of his favorite songs to see if they had the same musical sensibility. He was pleased, he agreed to work with her, and he originally started writing Total Eclipse of the Heart for a Nosferatu musical. That's Dracula. But he shaped the song to show off her voice. And he said in People magazine, "I never thought it had a prayer as a single. It was an aria to me, Ragnerian-like, or Ragnerian, whatever you want to call it. Like onslaught of sound and emotion, and wrote it to be a showpiece for her voice." It was a banger. It went to number 1 in the US and the UK, and boosted her 1983 album Faster Than the Speed of Light, which reached number 1 in the UK, number 4 in the US. And it's been redone by, a lot of people. There was a Total Eclipse of the Heart in the 90s. There was a 90s version of it. Kelly Osbourne actually did it back in the 2000s. That was her actual last singing performance, by the way. You could look it up, but just a burst of energy, just a great song. She had another hit, Holding Out for a Hero, which was featured in Footloose, reached number 34 in the US, number 2 in the UK, and that was pretty much it. She released 18 albums and received 3 Grammy nominations, and in 2022 she was appointed a member of the Order of the British Empire for her services to music. That's pretty damn nice. That's a big accolade. And she's survived by her husband. So, she had no kids. I don't see anything about having kids, but yeah, they never had children. She was open about having suffered a pregnancy loss in 92. She just says it just wasn't for me, I got a great life, and I'm far from packing it in. So, it happens. So, but her husband, is left alone, grieving the loss of his wife, Bonnie Tyler. And for all us 80s-ites, or, people that love the 80s, because I love the 80s religiously, because it's the best decade ever. You want to fight me for it? Go ahead, but you can't, because the 80s are the best decade ever. Best music, best movies, that's everything. But I digress on that. But, man, this hits hard. I am a big 80s guy, and, this song is played at weddings, a lot of weddings here and there. You hear it at the club every once in a while, but, not so much, Holding On for a Hero. You see that mostly in, I heard it in some, commercials. There's I forgot what movie it was in, but not Footloose, obviously. There was another movie. There was like a training montage. Not Rocky, but I forget what it was. But they used Holding Out for a Hero, and it was like, what the hell is this? Why are we using this? But it is what it is. But anyway, yeah. But Bonnie Tyler passes away today at age 75. Now she's in that big concert hall in the sky with the great people like Tina Turner and Donna Summer, Janis Joplin, all those great singers, even Ronnie James Dio, Lemmy from Motorhead, Ozzy. She's up there hanging out with a lot of great people, so just a sad day for us, music lovers out there, especially 80s music lovers like me. But in any case, as I always do on my rest in peace videos, my tribute videos, I like to take a ceremonial toast of whatever I got. This time we got Sunkist Zero Orange. Tastes good. So to Bonnie Tyler, rest in peace, you great woman, belting out those great hits in heaven now. And we will always have a total eclipse of our hearts when we listen to that song. So to Bonnie Tyler, rest in peace. Here's to you. That's that. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Leave me your thoughts and opinions down below. What do you guys think of Bonnie Tyler passing away today? You have any memories? Put it down below in the comment section. And like Trick Willie would say, let's talk about it. And that's that. Alright, speaking of wrestling, we got TNA Impact Wrestling coming up at 9. Should be a good show tonight. More of the Knockouts TV title tournament. I think Rosemary's on tonight. Leader of the Prophecy. Co-leader of the Prophecy, including me. I think Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth be on the show, and his little brother Ryan. But we should have a good show tonight for Impact, Ring of Honor tonight, episode number 174 tonight. So we're getting close to episode 200 of the new Ring of Honor TV. Death Before Dishonor coming up at the end of next month, August the 21st. In Philly at the ECW Arena. That's going to be nice to go to. I wish I was. I don't know if I'm going, but we'll see. If logistics can play out, I might go. I might not. I don't know. We shall see what happens with that. I might be saving up for GCW, but we'll see. But in any case, we got Impact. We got Ring of Honor tonight. I will be back after Impact. Actually, I might do a quickie video, a quickie NXT review after this. Before we get to NXT, before we get to TNA tonight, and that'll be it. And after that, we'll talk about Monday Night Raw before getting it into SmackDown tomorrow. And tomorrow, most likely tomorrow, we'll talk about a great AEW Dynamite with Kenny winning the belt. And I'll take you guys into TNA Ring of Honor from tonight. And going into SmackDown Live 2-hour show tomorrow night on that great station of the USA Network. And into a great weekend where we don't have anything to talk about. So, try to get everything done, hopefully by Saturday. Big weekend. We got a big weekend with the World Cup. France won today. They're going to be facing Spain, most likely in the next round. We'll see what happens with that. If Spain wins tomorrow against Belgium, I believe. And then Saturday, England and Norway at, I believe, 5 p.m. And then the big one, Argentina and Switzerland. That should be a pretty good game. And we're getting close to the end of the World Cup. Next weekend is the end of the World Cup. So we're getting down from 8, we're getting down to 4, down to the final 2 to win the 2026 World Cup. And could be Argentina going back to back. We'll see what happens with that. But it's been a great World Cup. Great World Cup. France won today, I believe, 2-0 over Morocco. Had some fight, but, France in the second half just zoomed, got 2 straight goals, and forget it. That was it. Right near the end of the game, not near the end of the game, but about 10 minutes left of the game, they got their second goal, and that was pretty much it. So, but big ups to Morocco, at least getting to the quarterfinals. And that's that. But now the big teams are in it. England, Argentina, Spain, France is still now in the semis. So we'll see what happens tomorrow with Spain and Belgium, who goes on to face France on Tuesday, I believe, in the quarterfinals in Dallas. And then Saturday, England, Norway, Argentina, and Switzerland. So we'll see what happens with that in the World Cup. Baseball, final weekend before the second half, before the All-Star break. Mets won today, took 2 or 3 from the Royals. Like it mattered, but, at least the Mets should have swept. They didn't lose that game on Tuesday when they had a 9-0 lead. But just the way the season is. The first half of the season for the Mets has just been abysmal. They're 14 games under 500, 12 games out of the wild card. You think they're going to make it? Probably not. Unless a big, huge collapse happens from pretty much every team ahead of them. I doubt it, but at least the Mets can make a nice second half surge. Then we can talk about maybe, this will be a nice precursor build to 2027. Whether some of the team is still intact, or there's going to be trades during the trade deadline at the end of this month. Maybe some big trades, I don't know, but we'll see. But, hey, Mets are doing pretty good. 4 out of 5. So we'll see what happens this weekend. I think they got, I know they got the Phillies after the break at, I think in Philly, or at home, I forget. But, we'll see what happens this weekend. Yankees won today, beating the Rays, big fucking whoop. They're still 4 games out of the division. Still hold the wild card, but do we care about the wild card right now? No, we don't care. We don't care about the wild card until September 1st, really. So, we'll see what happens with the Mets and the Yankees as we go into the second half of the Price is Right. The second half of the season. Football training camp begins in pretty much a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. That should be good. And then as we hit August, the Hall of Fame game, and then preseason, and then right after that, after Labor Day, week 1 of the NFL in the league when they play for pay. The 49ers on Netflix against the Rams in Australia, mate. Can't wait for that. Gonna be a great season for the Niners, hopefully. And I know the Rams have a monster team with Aaron Donald might come back. They got the guy from Cleveland, Myles Garrett. Holy shit. Rams might win that division by a lot. Shit. But they're gonna give the NFC West and probably the NFC a big kick in the ass. If Aaron Donald's on that team, forget it. You can give them the Super Bowl. So LA is becoming a metropolis of good teams. The Dodgers back-to-back World Series titles. Well, the Lakers suck. the Angels suck. The Chargers suck. They're from San Diego, but whatever. The Kings, not so good out, but, So, most of LA, if you're not the Dodgers, you're not great. But Rams looking like they have a Super Bowl caliber team this season, and we'll see what happens as we get to September and through the 2026-27 season. I think it's going to be a dogfight between them and the Niners. And then you got to worry about the Seahawks, the champs, the Super Bowl champs defending. Polish it up for somebody because you ain't going to go there. But we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, I got to go, guys. Thanks for watching. Rest in peace to Bonnie Tyler. And we're going to have a total eclipse of the heart later on tonight. Thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, peace and God bless.